Alex Hopkins took over her dad's training licence in 2017, and at 25 years old she is now one of the youngest trainers around. Her commute to work is short, with 22 greyhounds here in her back garden in Worksop.
We're in a little secluded area, but there's neighbours next door, but they're ever so great. They're not that much, but the dogs don't make that a lot of noise. They are fantastic dogs. They only bark for the breakfast and the tea, and other than that they're more content than anything, fast asleep on the beds.
And does it work for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I get winners regularly at Sheffield, and I've had a few open race winners, which is great, but other than that it worked for my dad, so why couldn't it work for me?
So you have used the beautiful countryside and fields around you. Presumably they are made use of for exercise?
Yeah, we go walking in them on a regular basis, but I don't tend to let them off. I've got a field down the bottom which a nice man lets me use when it's a bit soft, it's too hot at the moment because of the heat and everything, so I tend to use a walking machine. Other than that, the dogs are fit and healthy through the racing, the graded racing, but such as the injuries and things like that, they're on the walking machine, or the owners comes up on a Sunday and they take them for walks.
You've learnt a lot from great greyhound men, particularly your dad, and of course Harry Crapper, who's an owner in your kennel now. If I said to you, what do you have to do to train a greyhound? What are your beliefs? What do you think?
Make sure the dogs are loved, well kept, keep the coats clean, teeth clean, nails, well fed, the bed's changed, keep them happy, and they'll run for you. That's what my dad's always told me: give the dog plenty of TLC and the dog will thrive for you. And Harry always says, keep the dogs happy and feed well, and you won't go much wrong there. And
you're ambitious, aren't you? You're not happy to just sit back and be a graded trainer at Sheffield. You want to go travelling and get those big competitions under your belt.
Oh, definitely. For my dad, I used to travel to Newcastle. I took Thornwick last for the Angel of the North and things like that. I went to Nottingham the other week. I ain't got no bothers of travelling with my dogs. I enjoy seeing different tracks and see the dogs thrive in different places. It's such a great feeling once your dogs win open races and things, and seeing the owners so happy and wanting to get more dogs with you and things like that. But yeah, it's great.
And whether you're at Sheffield or travelling, I'm guessing you turn up and you're probably one of the youngest trainers, if not the youngest trainer on most occasions. How do you find that?
It's great. Why not have a young person come through? I know Harry and things like that has always said we'd love to see young trainers thrive and come through to take the sport on. But recently you don't see many young people my age because it is hard work. You've got to look after the dogs 24/7, 7 days a week. They need a lot of love and attention. If I'm not racing, I'm in the kennels and looking after the dogs and things like that. But yeah.
And you've got enjoy it. 22 dogs to look after at the moment. Yes. Is that enough for you?
Yeah, I don't mind. I've had more, but it's manageable. It's a nice manageable number. But hopefully, we've got some litters in Ireland. So Vera Vang, she's just had 2 little bitches. So once they come through, hopefully they'll fill the kennels up. But we do like to rotate the dogs round. Once the dogs, some of the owners, once they've reached their peak, they like to move them on and get younger pups in, which is great to see different dogs come through. But yeah.
Obviously you've not got a long commute to your kennels, just a walk to the end of the garden. But what does a typical day look like for you?
I get up at about 6:15, go downstairs, make the milk up, set the bowls, get the Weetabix ready for the dogs. I go in, clean them out, put the sawdust on the floor, watch all the dogs, and if I've got the runners, I weigh them first thing in the morning. So they've got an empty belly, so I know what race the race weight was from last time. And I go in there, come back down, have my own breakfast at 8 o'clock, go back up about 10 o'clock, groom, brush the dogs, make sure that all the teeth are clean, put the dogs in the mag boxes. If there's any injuries I need to work on, I'll get somebody to come up and help me, like one of the owners or Harry. I'll give him a quick call and just say if you could come give me a hand, it'd be great. And yeah, and then we feed, and then the dogs are put away about 12:30, and then I let them back out at 5:30 for another nightcap, read them a bedtime story and put them to sleep.
And of course you were literally born into greyhound racing. You sort of had no choice but to get involved with the sport because of your dad. You've tried other jobs, but is it greyhounds that you enjoy?
Almost definitely. I've worked in retail a good few times and I've still come back to the dogs. Everyone says, such a young person, get out of the game, there's no money in it. They can't tell me because I'm still here, I'm still doing it, and I've always loved it. No matter, I know it's a lot of heartache and a lot of dedication to do it because there's so many hours and how time consuming it is. But I love my dogs and I always have done.
Top trainer of the future? Am I looking at one?
Well, if it's still going, yeah, I'd like to be up there and still keep going 50 years later. It'd be nice to see, but yeah, most definitely. I'm ambitious to try and get there and try and work my way up to like what Harry did and see where things go.